Hi friends, today's our topic is about oils.
Oils.
Oils or fats.
Elephants.
I want to discuss in deeply about oils and fats today. So let me talk about various types of oils which are edible, which are not edible, and what are the uses of essential oils, edible oils, and everything. Coming to the edible oils, in India we use daily oils for our cooking. Okay, without an oil, Indian cooking is not possible because we always use curries, sweets, desserts, everything we use either a form of fat like an oil or ghee or something. So Indian cooking basically depends on oils. Without oil, no cooking in India. Maximum, it's not possible. From olden days, we practice this tradition. According to Ayurveda, the oil is also a part of food. The food should be cooked with the oil. Ayurveda recommends us to use the oil in our food. Our question is why we have to use oils. As the Ayurveda mentions that we have to use oils along with our food. Why? Because our body is made up of full of fat. That means our cell structure involves lots of fats in it. So the fats provide us the energy to the body, instant energy. So all our dhatus are made up of fats. So we should use oil to satisfy all our dhatus. That means it reaches all our cells and it nourishes our cell, it rejuvenates our cells. So oil is very important in food. Anything which is in limitation, which is taken in proper proportions, helps us our body to boost and nurture our body, and anything in excess causes harmful effects. Like this, the oil which is taken in the moderation helps all our dhatus and makes our cells to rejuvenate. But when we intake of oils is in excess, it makes us so many harmful effects like lifestyle changes, obesity, cardiac health, everything, diabetes, and everything like that. All the lifestyle disorders occurs because of the oil. As I said you, the oil use should be according to Deshakala. That means what is the place and what is the season and what is our body constituency. Okay, body, place, according to place and season. So these play a very important role in selection of oils. That means whether we are living in which place and we are in which season, and it depends upon our body type, whether ours is vata, kapha or pitta. These also plays an important role in selection of the use of oils in our daily life. Okay. I also said you that cold, when we are living in a cold countries, we should use low smoking point oils. When we are living in hot weather conditions, this is I said the seasonal hot weather conditions, we have to use high smoking point oils. This is the basic thing of selection of the oils. And generally vata people are more inactive and lazy, kapha and pitta people having more activeness in their body. So depending upon this, that means generally sunflower is pitta increasing in nature, ghee is cooling in nature. For example, I am saying cooling in nature. Sunflower is also high in kapha and vata in nature. Groundnut is vata in nature. So the person who is having pitta, that means they should use more of a cooling oils to their body in order to balance the pitta. The vata type, they should not consume more of groundnut oils. They should go for either ghee or sunflower oils. And the kapha people, that means which increases kapha in the body. So groundnut is both kapha and vata type. Yes, kapha and vata type. That means when we eat more groundnut, it increases vata and kapha. So they should substitute with sunflower and ghee. Sunflower is more pitta. So more pitta type people should not use sunflower. They should go for alternatives like groundnut, ghee, rice bran and other oils. This is depends upon our body's constituency. We have to select our oils. That means pitta people should choose cooling oils because they are hot in nature, whereas kapha and vata people should choose different oils which are suitable to their body type. So body type as well as season, place. These are very important in selection of the oils. And according to research, National Institute of Nutrition says us to rotate the oils every 3 months so that we get all the beneficial effects of different oils and we get all the healthier side of all the different oils what we are using. So research says that there is no complete antioxidant profile in it. So we have to always rotate our oils. That means we have to change our oils every 3 months. That we should not keep on sticking to groundnut, mustard, sesame like that. We keep on rotating one. Like we rotate our oils like for every 3 months or every 1.5 months. Like we use 1 month sesame oil, 1 month groundnut oil, 1 month coconut oil. Like that depends upon our taste and requirement and our disease conditions. We should rotate using the oils. As no biochemical reaction occurs in our body without fats, we know we have two types of fat sources. There are plant and animal sources. Okay, these are two types of fats. One is called as saturated fats and another is unsaturated fats. Okay, we have two types of fats, that is saturated, which is animal origin, and unsaturated, which is plant origin. This animal origin accepted, and the saturated fats exemption is the coconut oil having high amounts of saturated fats in it. Unsaturated fats is again two types. They are mono and poly. That means polyunsaturated fatty acids and mono unsaturated fatty acids. So it is better to replace saturated fatty acids with unsaturated fats. Why? Because the unsaturated fats, that means which are highly MUFA, monounsaturated fatty acids and polyunsaturated fatty acids, are very good for health compared to saturated fats which are animal origin. Generally, these unsaturated fats which are of plant origin, that is MUFA, monounsaturated fatty acids, these are very essential fatty acids which are required for our body. Actually, these plant originated fatty acids, that is called the so-called unsaturated fatty acids, increases the HDL level and decreases the LDL levels. That means low density lipoprotein and high density lipoproteins. Increase in the HDL level means increase in high density lipoprotein, which is very essential for our heart health. That means HDL should be always in high and LDL should be always in the low. So whatever the plant-based unsaturated fatty acids, they are very helpful for our maintaining of heart health. Whereas compared to saturated fatty acids, they increases LDL levels very highly. So they are very bad for our heart health. These saturated animal origin fats makes us increasing LDL levels and they are more subjected to heart risks. And these increase in LDL levels leads to high cardiac disorders and increase in cholesterol levels. And coming to trans fats, what are these trans fats? Let me tell you about these trans fats. We have been observing all the packaged foods. The name claims that they are trans free. What is this trans free? That means they are telling us that there is no trans fats in it. Generally, these trans fats are hydrogenated fats. That means whenever this is also a dietary fat actually. That means whenever in processing, that means in baked foods, in fried foods, in the process of hydrogenation, that means in the process of converting liquid oils into solid forms, that means in the bakery, in the fried items, these trans fats are generated. That means these are byproducts that they causes decrease in the HDL levels and increases the LDL levels. And these trans fats increase the triglyceride level in our body. That means these are very bad foods. That means these are that's why we always suggest to go for only homely food. All the outside food, that is baked foods and fried foods, contains a lots of trans fats in it, so it leads to so many other problems, and increase in the triglyceride level is also observed. So the triglycerides are not good. So increase in the triglyceride levels leads to hyperlipidemia. All the when we observe, when we observe our lipid profiles, when we take our lipid profiles, we always see what is the amount of LDL, what is the amount of VLDL, what is the HDL, and what is the triglyceride value. For so many patients with the hypercholesterol problems, triglycerides levels will be always high. Why? Because these people are consuming more fried foods and outside foods. So in the process of hydrogenation, these trans fats will develop, which causes increase in the triglyceride level and increase in the cholesterol levels of the person. So this is about the trans fats, which should be known for everyone. సో ఈ ట్రాన్స్ ఫ్యాట్స్ యొక్క డీటెయిల్స్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ మనకు. సో మనం బయట దొరికే ప్యాకేజ్డ్ ఫుడ్స్ తింటే మనకు దాంట్లో ట్రాన్స్ ఫ్యాట్ ఫ్రీ అని ఉంటుంది అనమాట. ఎందుకంటే దే క్లెయిమ్ దట్ దే ఆర్ వెరీ హెల్దీ, దే ఆర్ నాట్ అన్హెల్దీ టు యువర్ బాడీ. So we should be very cautious while buying, even if it says that it is trans fat free, but anything which is fried and baked outside, which undergoes a process of hydrogenation, it compulsorily produces the trans fats. Okay, that is very very bad for our health. Right, the different types of oils we use daily in our homes. Okay, the first comes the groundnut, which is mostly used in South India. Then sesame, mustard, rice bran, sunflower oil. These are the major oils we use regularly in our. Apart from these oils, we use these palm oils and low amounts of olive, flax, and walnut oils. Generally, we don't much use olive and walnut oils in Indian cooking. Why? Because we don't get these oils in abundant. Okay. All these oils which are Indian are having the smoking point in the range of 200 to 220. Okay, in degrees. Okay, almost all are having a little amount of difference, like 200 to 210, 215, 220, 250. Maximum we have this range of smoking point for each and every oil. I discussed in clearly about the smoking point in my previous olive oil video. You can take it as a reference. Okay. Now let's discuss about olive oil, which is high omega 3 fatty acids. Yes, my daughter is also teaching you. Okay. The olive oil is very rich in MUFA as well as omega 3 fatty acids. It's an excellent oil for health. And the major drawback of olive oil in Indian cooking is we can't heat it to the high temperatures. As we expose it to high temperature, they cause release of carcinogens, which are very harmful to our health. So olive oil is only limited use in Indian version. We have only limited use here. It did use in Indian cooking. Why? Because that extra virgin olive oil, which is very healthy, is only used for salads and dressings and just for sorting. So we can't heat it, because as we heat it, it loses its properties and becomes very harmful instead of healthier version. It becomes very harmful to our body and cancer causing agents were produced. So I recommend you to use only pure extra virgin olive oil in form of salads and dressings, so that we get the every good benefits which it is having in it in our food. Olive oil is very good for weight loss, because it aids in weight loss, because we use only very less oil for cooking. No, as it is not suitable for deep fries and all. We use it in salads and dressing, which are of the healthier version, and it also aids us in the metabolism boosting and fat loss. So it's a very good oil for the weight loss. Okay.
Okay.
Apart from the weight loss, it is high in MUFA, that is monounsaturated fatty acids, which helps us increase the HDL level and decrease the LDL level and helps for the cardiac health. And it is also very much useful in skin industry, as it is gives a lustrous and very beautiful hair, also used in hair industry. It gives mostly moisturizers and which acts as an emollient and as a moisturizer for the skin. Okay, it improves our skin tone and it makes us free from the wrinkles as well as scars and fine lines on the face. So it is widely used in beauty industry, and it's excellent for the soaps. As olive oil is very costly, the soaps which are made up of olive oil are also very costly. Why? Because it is not grown in India, it is exported from other countries. So for Indians, the soaps were very costly, and for consuming also the oil costs more. It's around like 400 to 350 for half kg, around 800 to 1000 per liter, which is very costly oil compared to other oils in the country. It also has a tyrosol which acts as a insulin resistance. That means it improves the insulin resistance and very good for the type 2 diabetes people. Okay, type 2 diabetes people, very useful olive oil. Okay, I just want to talk about rice bran oil, which is a very famous oil in these days. Already we know this is extracted from the husks, that means extracted from the Oryza sativa. Okay, this rice bran oil is very rich in omega 6. Okay, this is a very rich source of omega 6, that is linoleic acid, as the olive oil is a very good source of alpha linoleic acid, and the rice bran oil is a very good source of linoleic acid. These two are the major essential fatty acids which are required to our body. That means this can't be synthesized by our body, that we have to supply these two fatty acids to the body through the food, so that our body can use it for the further functions. That means our body can't synthesize these two fatty acids, so these are called as essential fatty acids, and we have to provide it through our foods. Oil is very rich in MUFA, that means monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids, PUFA and MUFA. That means it actually helps in decreasing the insulin resistance. As I said, the omega 3 is also useful in diabetes 2 people. This rice bran is also useful in the diabetic people. That means 20 to 30% of blood sugar levels is decreased. When we use rice bran oil in your food, it decreases your sugar levels. It has a gamma oryzinol in it. Okay, it has a gamma oryzinol in it, and also it has omega 6 and tocotrienol. Okay, tocotrienol is nothing but it is a vitamin E, part of vitamin E group. So as it is a good source of all these things, it decreases the LDL cholesterol. See, every oil, in the first I said all the unsaturated fatty acids decreases the LDL level and increases the HDL level. This is the main use of every oil what we use. So as it is also a very good source of vitamin A and vitamin K, it reduces our BP as well as cholesterol. So it is also a very good oil when we use it for the oil pulling. We generally use for oil pulling sesame oil. Instead of sesame, we also use rice bran oil for the oil pulling for its oral health benefits. So it maintains our oral health also. So rice bran oil is also a very good oil which can be added diabetic friendly, and it can be added in our lifestyle. So rice bran oil is also a very good oil which can be added into your lifestyle so that we get a balance of omega 3 as well as omega 6, so that we maintain the ratios of omega 3 and 6 ratios, which are very essential for maintaining of heart health and also for the inflammation effect and also for the immune system. That means the omega 6 are pro-inflammatory in nature, but the research said that omega 6 is good for every human being. It can't actually it is pro-inflammatory in nature. Some controversy is always there on the omega 6 that they are not that good for the health, but the research said that omega 6 is very good. It doesn't provoke any cardiac problems. It is a good supplement. The next thing I want to tell you is about sunflower oil. This everyone knows sunflower is obtained from sunflower seeds, and it is a very high rich in vitamin E and K and a great source of fatty acids and omega 6. Okay, it provides a better heart health and immune system, and the sunflower is also used for skin maintenance. It means it is a good source of omega 6 and vitamin E and K now, so we can use it for our skin maintenance as a moisturizer and also to relieve from the dandruff. You can apply it on the scalp also. So sunflower rice is having neutral flavor, vitamin E, K rich and omega 6 rich, and it's also good for heart health as well as the skin health. Both externally and internally it is very good oil. Okay. But it is having a smoking point very less compared to remaining oils. It's only like 210 around it is having. And it is having low heat cooking capacity. That means whenever the sunflower oil we are using in our food, it releases, whenever cooking, whenever the fumes are coming, it releases aldehydes. Okay, these aldehydes are very dangerous. Fumes contain aldehydes. Fumes contain aldehydes, which increases the cancer. And sunflower produces more aldehydes than other oils. Like when compared to other oils, it produces more aldehydes while heating. So it's better to use the sunflower oil only for curries and stir frying, not for the deep frying. Okay, that is the use of sunflower oil. It's very good for heart, very good for decreasing LDL, but caution is that we should not use it for high heat. We should not use it in the high flames because it produces aldehydes, which are cancer causing agents. So what we should use instead of sunflower oil or other type of oils? So I want to tell you about a oil which is very famous and very well known to everyone. That is nothing but our palm oil. That is our inform you about palm oil. Very famous palm oil for the high flame or for the heating, deep fry. We have been observing so many vendors using palm oil in their fried foods. That means whenever we go to the stalls or restaurants or like roadside, whenever we see, they like small vendors will be there selling their street foods. They use maximum of palm oil as a base oil for their cooking. Why they use palm oil? We don't actually, they too don't know why they use it, because of the lesser price compared to other oils. The palm oil is cheap in cost compared to other oils. Now it is around 120 rupees per kilo, when other oils are 150, 200 per kilo. So it is a cheaper oil and is widely available. So every vendor in the streets generally uses palm oil in his cooking. It is on another side very good. Why? Because it is having high heat bearing capacity when compared to other oils like sunflower and other oils. Actually it is 60% smoke point is there. That means it is having very high smoking point than the other oils. And also it releases lesser free acids. That means that is free radicals. Whenever the oils undergo heating, whenever the fume starts, they starts releasing free radicals which are cancerous to our health. So 66% less palm oil releases free radicals. That means it is having higher smoking point, so easily it can't undergo oxidation. Okay, that's why it releases very less free radicals. I want to stress about palm oil because of its high heat bearing capacities, as it is having high heat bearing, as well as it's not producing any free acids or the free radicals at the it while compared to other oils. It is very stable, that is it is 3 times more stable than the other oils. So it is better for everyone to include palm oil for the deep frying in the cooking. That whenever festival is there, whenever some occasion is there, we prepare lots of snacks. So most of the people uses in India palm oil. That is also a very good thing compared to using other oils. Next thing I want to stress you is about sesame oil. Okay, let us see about sesame oil. This is in Telugu we call it Hindi tillo oil, Telugu nuvula oil, nuvula pappu. It's a very good oil which is very beneficial both internally and externally. Very good for internal and external use. It's very good for internal and external purposes. Sesame oil is having very good agents called as lignans. Okay, what is this lignan? Means sesame oil is rich in vitamin E and lignans. It helps for the reduction of cholesterol as well as the blood sugar in the body. So what are the main use of these lignans? See, this sesame oil is having lignans. I told these are multi-purpose uses. We have multiple uses with the lignans. Okay, what are these means? These are very important for our health. These are antimicrobial. Okay, that means acts against microbes, and anti-inflammatory. Inflammation, okay, anti-inflammation. That means, see, have you ever seen that sesame oil is mostly used in as an external oil for the application on the rheumatoid arthritis, joint pains, like that. We use lots of sesame oil because it is having anti-inflammatory activity. So it's best suitable as a skin oil actually. And also externally and internally it prevents the inflammation. It's anti-carcinogenic. So it has anti-carcinogenic agents and estrogenic also. Okay, it is estrogenic. So actually it is anti-carcinogenic. That means it prevents the formation of cancers. It is antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, anti-carcinogenic, as anti-mutagenic. Mutation means what? You know about mutation? సో మ్యూటేషన్ అంటే ఏం లేదండి. మ్యూటేషన్ అంటే మనకు తెలుసు, కరోనా కూడా వేరియస్ స్ట్రెయిన్స్లో మ్యూటేట్ అవుతుంది. మ్యూటేట్ మీన్స్ ఇట్స్ కీప్ ఆన్ చేంజింగ్ ఇట్స్ జెనెటిక్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ సో దట్ వీ కాన్ ట్రీట్ సచ్ డిసీజెస్. సో యాంటీ మ్యూటాజెనిక్గా మనం మన సిజమే ఆయిల్ని యూజ్ చేస్తాము. కాబట్టి సిజమే ఆయిల్ని వాడమని కూడా చెప్పారు ఈ సీజన్లో, ఎందుకంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ యాంటీ మ్యూటాజెనిక్. సో ఇఫ్ సంథింగ్ ఈజ్ అండర్ గోయింగ్ మ్యూటేషన్ ఇన్ అవర్ బాడీ, ఇట్ స్టాప్స్ ది మ్యూటేషన్. అండ్ యాంటీ ఒబిసిటీ. For the, if I apply it externally also, it decreases the obesity అనమాట. మన ఫ్యాట్ సెల్స్ని కిల్ చేస్తుంది ఎక్స్టర్నల్గా అప్లై చేస్తే. సో ఇంకా ఏముంటుంది? యాంటీ హైపర్ లిపిడెమిక్ యాక్టివిటీ. హైపర్ లిపిడేమియా అంటే ఏంటి? డిక్రీజెస్ ది బ్యాడ్ కొలెస్ట్రాల్. సో దట్ హైపర్లిపిడేమియాలో బ్యాడ్ కొలెస్ట్రాల్, ట్రైగ్లిసరైడ్స్, ఎల్డిఎల్ లెవెల్స్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయి. సో కొలెస్ట్రాల్ లెవెల్స్ ఎక్కువగా ఉంటాయి. సో అలాంటప్పుడు మనం యాంటీ హైపర్ లిపిడెమిక్గా యూస్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, ఇట్స్ అబౌట్ లిగ్నన్స్. దట్ ఈస్ అ వెరీ గ్రేట్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ sesame oil, both internally and externally. Externally it is a very బ్యూటీ ప్రోడక్ట్స్లో మనం బాగా చూస్తాం sesame oilsని. ఆయుర్వేదిక్ ఆయిల్స్ contains lots of sesame oil. So sesame oil is very good immune booster and prevents many types of cancers. So compulsory you have to include sesame oil in your lifestyle. Next thing I want to tell you is about groundnut oil. Groundnut. It's a very famous oil in South India. It is extracted from the groundnuts. Okay. Groundnuts, palli noone. It's very famous, like very tasty. Tasty bhi bante hai food groundnuts se, tasty bhi healthy bhi. Taste or health. It provides taste as well as health. But it is having more fats in it. Highly fat content untadannamata manaku groundnut oil. Generally it is good suitable for diabetes and cholesterol people. Generally it decreases LDL. Every unsaturated fatty acids decreases the LDL. It also has the vitamin E in it, okay, which is a good antioxidant. Apart from the dietary recommendations, groundnut oil, I said no, it is having more fat. Vata prakopaga untadi actually, and kapha prakopanga untadi anamata. Ante it has both increases vata and kapha nature. Groundnuts tinte vatam ani antaru general ga ancient people. It is vata and kapha prakopa. So as I said, we should always rotate so that బ్యాడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఏమన్నా ఉన్నా మన మీద పడకుండా మనం కీప్ ఆన్ రొటేటింగ్ చేయాలి ఆయిల్స్ని. సో యాజ్ యూజువల్ పీనట్ ఆయిల్ ఆర్ గ్రౌండ్నట్ ఆయిల్ ఈజ్ వెరీ గుడ్ ఫర్ హెల్త్, రిచ్ ఇన్ విటమిన్ E and vitamin K, as well as rich in omega 6, and also improves brain function, memory, calcium untadi, iron untadi. Okay, it's very good for health. Generally groundnuts are well mixed with jaggery to get the both calcium and iron. It's about greatness of groundnuts. So apart from the dietary recommendations, it also used in the skin diseases, like for dandruff and for strengthening hair. Have you ever heard about hair? Yes, now you just see what are the uses of hair. Hair follicles weak ga unte, that means whenever your hair follicles are very weak, it strengthens the hair follicles. So better the cold pressed groundnut oil. If you are getting any cold pressed oils, please apply it to your hair. Like as we apply our coconut oil, you please apply this groundnut oil also for your hair, so that it increases the strength of the hair follicles, and also skin and fine lines on the face is also removed. That it also reduces aging and joint inflammations and cancer risks. This is about groundnut or peanut oil. Okay, but when we consume in excess, it leads to weight gain. Because I said it is more of fatty in nature, vata prakopanga untadi, so it leads to weight gain. So use in moderate quantity. Compared to other oils, we should be very cautious while using the groundnut oil. Okay, to tell you is about mustard oil. Generally these mustard oil is not consumed by South Indians. Mostly North Indians use this mustard oil. There is so much controversy about mustard oil. It has uric acid in it. Okay, as this acid is very good for health in small doses, but when we take it in higher quantities, it is bad. So we should be very conscious while taking this mustard oil. Mustard oil, as per the FDA, mustard oil is not given to children much because of this high quantity of uric acid in it. And the mustard oil is having its unique flavor. How it is getting its unique flavor means it is having alkyl isothiocyanate in its ring. Okay, that's why it gives a strong flavor. Okay, as of generally in India we use mustard seeds for the tadka, but that's no problem because we're using only small quantities. See, have you ever observed about the great Indian cooking? We use always mustard oil, jeera. Those are the basic ingredients while we cook any curries in India. Why? Because these are having potential. Potency is very important. That means if you use in small quantities, it is very good for health, and if you use in large quantities, it is having bad effects on our health. So mustard oil consumption is not that much recommended by the FDA, but in North Indians they are used to it, and because of that high temperature zones here, like arid desert areas, so they use mustard oil as their food, and it's having high smoking point also, so we can easily use mustard oil in their cooking. And myocardial lipidosis is also reduced. But one thing is that it is having a strong taste. Like generally new people, like means if they don't know, because it can't blend with the flavors, it is because it is having its own unique taste and smell. The mustard oil smells like mustard. Okay, it different smell is present, so it is very unique. It can't blend. We have to blend with it, and it can't blend with us. So if you any North Indian, or if you are, but it is very good. Like it, whoever the people who are eating the mustard oil, they will be having lean muscle mass. That means it is also very helpful for the weight loss. మజిల్ మాస్ బాగా తక్కువగా ఉండి బక్కగా ఉంటారండి మస్టర్డ్ ఆయిల్స్ తినేవాళ్ళు అని రీసెర్చ్ చెప్తుంది. సో ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ eat it, otherwise you please avoid it. But it is not bad for health, it is good for health. We take it in moderate quantities. Generally this mustard oil, I want to tell you about something which is very important about mustard oil. Important thing about mustard oil is it is a very good external application oil. That is, it is very good in reducing your fat. That means externally it is applied as a massage oil. You know this dilution, the mustard oil and camphor, you mix it and apply externally daily to reduce the fat, body fat. It reduces our body fat. It metabolism increases and body fat is lost. Okay, we can reduce our body fat by using mustard oil external application as a massage oil. You can, whenever obese people are there, you can go mix the camphor and the mustard oil, heat it, then you keep on applying on your body. You see the results after 1 or 2 months. Whatever the external fat is there in your body, that is melted away. It is having a anti-lipidemic effects. Okay, anti-cholesterol effects. So mustard oil is also a good for health, but it depends upon the season and place. So normally in South India they won't use, but in North India they use it very widely. They are not having any other effects because they keep on using from the ancient days. So they never told that after using mustard oil they got this problem, that problem. They are used to it. So anybody who are used to it is a very good oil, but take in small quantities, especially for children. Other people, no problem. Externally it is a very excellent oil. You can go for it for your obesity problems. The most important thing is coconut oil, which is very famous in South India, and most of the Kerala use coconut oil for cooking and for skin care and for hair care and everything. The coconut oil is very famous for skin and hair generally, but all the Kerala people use in cooking also daily they use coconut oils. That I told you depends upon the place and season. We should change our oils, but they are used to it from the ancient days. They keep on using coconut oil as their staple oil. So, what's about this coconut oil? So, what's the different thing about this coconut oil? Yes, it is different because it is containing lots of saturated fat in it. As all the plant origin is having unsaturated fat, but this coconut oil makes it difference. Lots of difference. It has lots of saturated fat, like about 90% of saturated fat in it. That means, is it good or bad? Whether I said saturated fats are not good for health, then I said coconut oil is very good for health. Yes, compared to butters as well as that beef. Beef is having only 40% saturated fat. Butter is having around 64%. But coconut is having 90% of saturated fats. So too much saturated fat is very unhealthy for the heart because it increases the LDL cholesterol. But coming to the coconut oil, it is good. Why? Because it increases the HDL level like anything. Like means no oil can increase the HDL level like a coconut oil. It is having that capacity. Actually, the saturated fat which is present in the coconut oil is 12 carbon atom. Actually 12 carbon atom. It has in its structure, it has a 12 carbon atoms in the molecule. This 12 carbon variety is called as lauric acid. What is the name? It is lauric acid. As this lauric acid increases the HDL level and decreases the LDL level. So it is said that it is very useful and it is healthy oil. So not only this, generally we got so many hypes for coconut oil. Do we take morning coconut oil? It reduces your thyroid, it reduces your weight. So actually it reduces our weight, it is true. Why? Because it increases the metabolism and it encourages our body to burn fat. So this is a unique property of the coconut oil which encourages lot of people who are obese or who want to lose their weight. So it's a keto diet. So they go on and consuming 1 or 2 spoons of coconut oil daily in the morning makes your metabolism boost and makes your body burn more calories and more fat and lose your weight. Okay. So on that part coconut oil is very good. Another part, it supplies quick energy to the brain. So it immediately gives energy. As we drink coconut oil, our brain gets instant energy. So we don't feel any giddiness or anything. If you consume in excess, that is different story. You will get vomitings, GI irritability, that and all. Okay, apart from that, it is very good and it's a very good emollient for the hair. You know that hair oil is only coconut oil. We know very famous parachute, something like that. Where so many oils came in present days, but very famous oil is coconut oil for the hair because it's an excellent emollient and it's also used in skin diseases like some scars is there, some burning is there, you will apply coconut oil. And not only this, generally for children like babies, whenever some insect bites or some hives comes means they apply the coconut oil. Coconut oil is a caution that we have to observe. Generally I want to write one caution, very important. సో ఇది జనరల్గా ఎవరు చెప్పి ఉండరు మీకు ఏంటంటే ఈ స్కాల్ప్ డిసీజెస్ ఉంటాయి. ఈ చిన్న పిల్లలలో మనం డాండ్రఫ్ లాగా తలలో అంతా వచ్చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది, పొడలుగా వస్తుంటుంది. అదేదో జెనెటికల్ అది ఇది అనుకుంటాం. ఓకే, దాని స్కాల్ప్ సోరియాసిస్ అంటారు. ఓకే, జనరల్గా అలాంటి వాళ్ళు కోకోనట్ ఆయిల్ యూస్ చేస్తే మాత్రం పెరిగిపోతుంది, ఇట్ ఇంక్రీజెస్. So psoriasis people don't use much coconut oil for their డ్రైనెస్ పోతుంది కదా అని చెప్పి మనం కోకోనట్ ఆయిల్ అప్లై చేసామంటే అది ఇంకా పెంచేస్తుంది ఇచ్చింగ్ని. అదంతా జనరల్గా యాంటీ మైక్రోబియల్ ఏజెంట్గా యాక్ట్ చేస్తుంది. కానీ సోరియాసిస్ పీపుల్లో ఎవరైతే ఏటోపిక్ డర్మటైటిస్ ఉంటుందో అలాంటి వాళ్ళలో మన కోకోనట్ ఆయిల్ని యూస్ చేయొద్దండి స్కిన్కి. ఓకే, ప్లీజ్ అవాయిడ్ ఇట్. మ్యాక్సిమం అవాయిడ్ చేయండి, ఆలివ్ ఆయిల్ యూస్ చేసుకోండి. ఆలివ్ ఆయిల్ ఈజ్ వెరీ గుడ్ కంపేర్డ్ టు దట్ ఆఫ్ ది coconut oil. And also I want to tell about amudam, that is castor oil. It's a very good oil, castor oil, very good emollient and very good oil for the skin diseases and జనరల్గా క్యాస్టర్ ఆయిల్ మనం కుకింగ్లో వాడాం కాబట్టి దీని గురించి చెప్పట్లేదు. బట్ క్యాస్టర్ ఆయిల్ గురించి వేరే యూజెస్ ఉన్నాయి. నేను మళ్ళీ క్యాస్టర్ ఆయిల్ గురించి ఒక సపరేట్ టాపిక్లో చెప్తాను. ఐ విల్ టెల్ యూ అబౌట్ క్యాస్టర్ ఆయిల్ అండ్ ఇట్స్ యూజెస్ అండ్ వెరీ బెనిఫిషియల్ టు చిల్డ్రన్. So I will tell this topic in some other topic. Okay, now we are talking about generally edible oils only we are talking, right? These are major edible oils we are using in our daily diet. And these are the pluses and minuses of the every oil. That means all the suggestions were towards the all oils are, I am saying all oils are good, all oils are bad. If you are taking in excess, any oil is bad, because any oil in excess or excess heating, that means if you are going for deep frying, any oil produces free radicals. So any oil produces cancer causing agents. In refining also, these are whatever now I am discussing is only about virgin oils. That means these are the natural oils, not refined oils. These are rich in all these things. Whenever we do the process called refining, I already explained about refining and all. So I don't want to tell about much about refining. We use some solvent and solvent extraction and refining. So oils may undergo many changes, many structural changes. Vulnerable to the changes in their structures, and it causes many problems for us. Instead of giving the good healthy things whatever the oil is having, instead of that we get the bad effects of the oil. Why? Because their nature, they are denatured oils. Their nature is changed. So it poses us many health related issues. Generally the lifestyle activities, change in the lifestyle, change in the physical activity also. Why? Because previously our elders used to do lots of physical activity, but today there is no physical activity is going on. This lack of physical activity posing a major problem for all the diseases like diabetes, obesity and many other heart related issues, because previously the dal itself is considered as a very auspicious thing. They used to eat dals only for the festivals, but nowadays we keep on eating fried foods, dals as our regular diets. Because any fried food nowadays we use daily evening we eat samosa, gobi, parathas, everything, dosas, by using lots of refined oil. That refined oil is already, I said, it is very dangerous to the health. Only we should minimize our oil use in order to protect our health. Okay, I just want to convey one more interesting thing about oils. That is, I am keep on saying this oil is having omega 6, this oil is having omega 3. I just want to clarify you about this. What is this omega? What is this omega 3 and omega 6? I just want to inform you about the sources also. Okay, generally inform you about this omega 3 and omega 6. This is rich in alpha linoleic acid and it is linoleic acid. Actually there is a myth that if you take high amounts of omega 6 it can lead to blood pressure and blood clots. So what is this issue? I want to just inform about the details. Actually this omega 6, that is linoleic acid, is converted into arachidonic acid, okay, in the body, which causes the problem of that blood pressure and blood clots. Generally this arachidonic acid constricts the blood vessels. Okay, it constricts the blood vessels so that BP will come, and it creates the clots so that blood clots will be there, arteries will be clogging and leads to cardiac attacks. That is a major discussion going about omega 6 fatty acids. But the research said as one important thing about omega 6 fatty acids. Actually these omega 6 fatty acids are available, n number of omega 6 acids available in all types of oils, like whatever the previous oils we discussed, sesame, flaxseed, mustard oil, every oil is having omega 6. That means it is leading to any heart problems? No, it is not the thing. Actually the omega 6, that is linoleic acid, and the other part, that research said that our body is having the capacity to convert linoleic to arachidonic acid is correct. But the thing is that if the linoleic acid is available, is abundant, okay, that means if 100% linoleic acid is present in our body, but the body takes only 10% and converts into arachidonic acid, which is used for the various other processes. If it is available in 10% also, it will take 10%. If it is available 100% also, it will take only 10%. That means which is essential for the body, that only it will take. That means if you are taking more omega-6, means that doesn't mean that it causes blood clots, it causes dangers. It is that it only, the body takes only the thing which is essential for its requirement. Only if 100% is available also, it takes only 10% or whatever is required for the body. Our body is well defined. Our body is well planned. Already God has planned very well that our body takes only what it wants and it expels the excess, or it will not take the excess. It is a general mechanism of the any human body. But we people, we humans, trying to change everything and want all, and we are trying to incorporate all the diseases in our life. So this is the lifestyle changes. We should not do much in our life. So please practice the ancient methods so that you will protect your heart, you will protect your body, and you will protect your life. Okay, this is about omega-3 and omega-6. So I think you don't have any doubts about this clarification, because both are very important for us. Omega-6 is widely available, whereas omega-3 is scarcely available in a regular usage. So I just want to inform you what are the things like where we get omega-3 and omega-6. Generally, omega-6 I already told, it is available in sunflower, walnuts, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds I will explain in one more video. It's a very excellent seeds for the bone health and all. Okay. And omega-3 is generally available in, already we know, great source is fish, then flax seeds, then walnuts and chia seeds. So we get all the omega-3 from fish, flax seeds, walnuts and chia seeds. Omega-6 is from sunflower, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, mustard oils, and some other oils. Okay. This is about the confusion of omega-3, omega-6 and its ratio. We have to take 1:2 or 2:1. Don't worry, you just take 2:1. Be sure that omega-3 should balance omega-6. That means if both are balanced, then it is a great source of vitamins to the body and great source of fatty acids to the body, which help us boost our heart's health. So it protects our heart and decreases the inflammation and triglycerides. Okay, it's a very good combination. So go for, don't restrict your omega-6 intake, but increase your omega-3 intake. Okay, that is the key. If somebody says omega-6 is bad, it's not that bad. Okay, if you keep on balance, if you take both the oils, it's very good for our health. That's why I said keep on rotating your oils. I just want to tell you about very important fat, that is ghee, which is best recommended by the Ayurveda. According to Ayurveda, ghee is best source of fatty acids. Whatever we discussed, the n number of oils, the Ayurveda strongly recommends ghee. Use ghee in your diet, ghee in your diet, ghee in your diet. I just want to inform you about various, as though it is animal origin, it is sattvic in nature and improves our mental ability and memory. Okay. Ghee is having excellent memory increasing quality. That's why we always recommend for children to have a stronger bones and have a mental growth. Ghee is so important. Let me tell you about various uses of ghee. Ghee has n number of uses, dear friends. Omega-3, I had just now discussed. Omega-3 improves your brain and heart health, and ghee also keeps you warm. That means it is having warm nature. Whenever it is cold outside, you can eat ghee, which makes you to be more warmer. That means cow ghee is more warmer in nature. Desi cow ghee is mostly recommended in Ayurveda for the internal and external uses. Ghee, in this desi ghee is used in various treatments and ailments. Okay, let us see how the ghee is used for the gut. See, whenever we visit an Ayurvedic practitioner, he always recommends us to use ghee in our daily diet. Why? Because ghee is rich in antioxidants and aids in digestion and keeps the gut health. That means GI health. It is having butyric acid. Okay, butyric acid, which is used for helping digestion and also release the constipation, especially when we take our children to Ayurvedic doctor. He always asks us whether you are giving ghee to your children or not. That means ghee helps us maintaining good gut health and relieves us from the constipation. Okay, that means our inner lining, it soothes the inner lining and makes whatever sticky we stick to our intestine, it makes us to clean our bowels. That means no constipation. It provides the laxative effects and also it produces increased T cell generation in the gut. Okay, killer T cells will be increased and promotes the gut health. Okay, killer T cells will be increased, promotes the gut health. Okay, that means your gut will be more healthy if you take more ghee. That's why even if you observe the stars, that is so called stars, heroines, they take generally ghee in their diet, and so many dietitians also recommend the ghee should be a part of our daily life. We should consume 1 to 2 teaspoons of ghee daily. Okay, not only this, it is also very useful for building the tissues, that is dhatus. I said no, it whatever the oil, Ayurveda said oil is very important for dhatus. It is spreaded to each and every cell and all the dhatus will be rejuvenated and get stronger if we eat more ghee. And absorption of vitamin C also increases and vitamin D also increases. That's why when you observe, when we make biryanis in our house, we definitely add ghee in the Indian cookings. When we add some dry fruits, we add ghee. When we prepare desserts, we add some ghee in general Indian cooking. Okay, that's the importance of ghee. It absorbs most of the nutrition. That means whenever it is added to other ingredients, whatever the benefits, whatever the vitamins, so they are more absorbed appropriately. Okay, whenever ghee is added, it improves the absorption of vitamin D, vitamin K, which is very, very essential for our body and bone strength. Okay, let me talk about vitamin K, which is very important for the bone health. See, whenever we take ghee in pregnancy, what happens means, generally pregnancy ladies should take the ghee. Generally, whenever a grandma is there in our home, she always recommends us to drink ghee daily, 1 spoon of ghee in a warm water. Okay, it's a warm water. You take warm water and ghee. It soothes your fetus. Actually, the fetus will be turning around at the stage of 8th month, 9th month. We see the observation that something is moving in our womb. So it helps a easy movement, and also it is very useful for the fetal brain development as well as the facial features. That means if you take ghee in your foods, your baby's face will be very beautiful and she will get strong teeth. Children's strong teeth is also depends upon the ghee usage. That's why in children, generally in India, they use more ghee for the children. They go more ghee. In every food they put some ghee. That K2, vitamin K2 is present, which is very important for the facial features and teeth development as well as for the bone development. Okay. Generally, what happens in the bones, I just want to explain about simple mechanism in the bones. Generally, it extracts the calcium from the arteries. Okay, and it fortifies in the bones. That means bone strength is increased and arteries clogging is decreased. So it is very good for both arteries as well as for the bones. It strengthens the bones and blockage free arteries will be available for us. That is the great importance of ghee in the bone health actually. And I already said it's a sattvic food, so it provides a personal positive energy. It provides positive energy to the body, positive thinking, and any like emotional stress and emotional toxins are also removed by the ghee. So you should consume ghee daily, so it balances your emotions. Emotional stress is removed, emotional toxins also are removed, and absorbs a lots of nutrients present in herbs and spices. And also you should know one important thing is about ghee. Why? Because ghee has a 250 degrees centigrade smoking point. That means it doesn't break into free radicals. It doesn't break up into free radicals. That means when we use ghee and cook it in a high flame also, it will not produce free radicals faster. than the other general oils. That's why its smoking point is very high and does not break down while cooking. So we can store ghee in the refrigerator. Without refrigerator also we can store ghee for longer times compared to other oils and all. So ghee generally 6 months also we can store. There is no problem in ghee storage. That's the main importance of ghee. And we can also in Ayurvedic preparations, have you heard about name Grihtam? Grihtam or Gritham, like that is a medicated ghee. Like so many Ayurvedic preparations were also prepared with ghee because it having that many beneficial properties to the body. And it also promotes flexibility, whenever rheumatoid patients like that, they have loss of flexibility because of the joint bones they will be hearing crackling sounds, pain in joints. So for rheumatoid arthritis, it also helps in soothing the pain, and flexibility also promoted. So connective tissues and all, it lubricates the joints as well as the connective tissues. So that's a great importance of the ghee in our life. So ghee has lots of uses, friends. Apart from this, externally ghee is a very good antimicrobial. So externally it is used in eyes also. Eyes, you can use it eyes, in nose, like Nasyam. Nasyam, have you ever heard about Nasyam? We can use a desi ghee in our nostrils too. One drop if you keep in the nostrils in the night, generally cold and some type of colds, it protects us from the colds. Okay, you can use it externally, eyes, nose, and also for pitta dosha. That means if somebody is having high pitta, generally the ghee is cold in nature, but cow ghee is said to be hot in nature. Normal buffalo ghee is cold in nature. Generally it's a saying from the ancient things. So generally ghee provides us the warmth because it's a fat. Generally fats are providing warmth to the body. We can use ghee can be used as a eye beautification product. Okay, we can use for under eye creams. Ghee is used in under eye creams. If you have carry bags under your eyes, so use ghee so that you look more younger. See, have you ever observed the face of these stars, or everyone who is healthy means their skin is so shiny? The ghee provides a shiny, more nourishment to the skin. Okay, it provides shiny texture, more nourishment to the skin. Okay, that's why we should include ghee in our body. And it's also immunity booster in the Indian society. It strengthens the bones, eyesight, okay, as digestive system also. So ghee is having lots of beneficial activities, which is mostly referred by the Ayurveda. Okay, Ayurveda recommends us the ghee. So friends, don't forget ghee in your lifestyle. Instead of oils, you better use ghee. If it is available, you can prepare it easily in our house. Okay, we can use ghee as a major supplement for the oils if possible. So avoid much deep frying in the oils, and so that we will get lots of healthy benefits. If you salt means if you are cooking in a very low heat flame, and if you are using virgin oils, you go for gunny oils. Okay, which is generally locally marketed by a cold press method, extracting by using cold press methods. Or we can, so many ghanis are coming in recent days, that means they are extracting the oil. They are not that I want to convey, that is we are saying lots of things about oils. So nowadays adulteration is also very high in oils, so we should go to a right place to buy the right oils. You can see with your own eyes and you can get it, or you can supply them some 100 kg and they will extract it and give it to you, so that it is more useful. These adulterated oils poses many problems to the heart as well as for the body. So in order to minimize the cancer and heart attacks, so please go for the good oils and natural extracted cold pressed oils. And otherwise at least go to the nearby place where they extract the oils purely, that means natural oils, pure oils without any adulteration. Hampers our health, so be very cautious while using these oils. Okay, this is about the oils. If you are having any doubts, please do comment, and please share these kind of videos to some people so that they will get the knowledge about oils, because our India is mainly dependent upon oils for our daily cooking. So friends, if you like this video, please like it and please share it to your friends and the people who are watching our videos newly. Please don't forget to subscribe us. Thank you. We'll catch you with one more interesting topic. Until then, stay tuned. Bye. Take care.